Section 14 of An Introduction to Yoga by Annie Besant. This LibriVox recording is in the public domain. 14. Stages of Mind. The mind has 5 stages, Patanjali tells us. And Vyasa comments that these stages of mind are on every plane. The first stage is the stage in which the mind is flung about, the Kshipta stage. It is the butterfly mind, the early stage of humanity, or in man, the mind of the child, darting constantly from one object to another. It corresponds to activity on the physical plane. The next is the confused stage, Mudha, equivalent to the stage of the youth, swayed by emotions, bewildered by them. He begins to feel he is ignorant, a state beyond the fickleness of the child, a characteristic state corresponding to activity in the astral world. Then comes the state of preoccupation or infatuation, Vikshipta, the state of the man possessed by an idea, love, ambition, or what not. He is no longer a confused youth, but a man with a clear aim, and an idea possesses him. It may be either the fixed idea of the madman or the fixed idea which makes the hero or the saint. But in any case, he is possessed by the idea. The quality of the idea, its truth or falsehood, makes the difference between the maniac and the martyr. Maniac or martyr, he is under the spell of a fixed idea. No reasoning avails against it. If he has assured himself that he is made of glass, no amount of argument will convince him to the contrary. He will always regard himself as being as brittle as glass. That is a fixed idea which is false, but there is a fixed idea which makes the hero and the martyr. For some great truth dearer than life is everything thrown aside. He is possessed by it, dominated by it, and he goes to death gladly for it. That state is said to be approaching yoga, for such a man is becoming concentrated, even if only possessed by one idea. This stage corresponds to activity on the lower mental plane, where the man possesses the idea instead of being possessed by it. That one-pointed state of the mind, called ekagrata in Sanskrit, is the 4th stage. He is a mature man, ready for the true life. When the man has gone through life dominated by one idea, then he is approaching yoga. He is getting rid of the grip of the world and is beyond its allurements. But when he possesses that which before possessed him, then he has become fit for yoga and begins the training which makes his progress rapid. This stage corresponds to activity on the higher mental plane. Out of this 4th stage or ekagrata arises the 5th stage, niruddha or self-controlled. When the man not only possesses one idea, but rising above all ideas, chooses as he wills, takes or does not take according to the illumined will, then he is self-controlled and can effectively practice yoga. This stage corresponds to activity on the buddhic plane. In the 3rd stage, Vikshipta, where he is possessed by the idea, he is learning viveka or discrimination between the outer and the inner, the real and the unreal. When he has learned the lesson of viveka, then he advances a stage forward, and in ekagrata he chooses one idea, the inner life, and as he fixes his mind on that idea, he learns vairagya or dispassion. He rises above the desire to possess objects of enjoyment belonging either to this or any other world. Then he advances towards the 5th stage, self-controlled. In order to reach that, he must practice the 6 endowments, the Shat Sampati. These 6 endowments have to do with the will aspect of consciousness, as the other 2, Viveka and Vairagya, have to do with the cognition and activity aspects of it. By a study of your own mind, you can find out how far you are ready to begin the definite practice of yoga. Examine your mind in order to recognize these stages in yourself. If you are in either of the 2 early stages, you are not ready for yoga. The child and the youth are not ready to become yogis, nor is the preoccupied man. But if you find yourself possessed by a single thought, you are nearly ready for yoga. It leads to the next stage of one-pointedness, where you can choose your idea and cling to it of your own will. Short is the step from that to the complete control which can inhibit all motions of the mind. Having reached that stage, it is comparatively easy to pass into samadhi. End of section 14.